what was the retreat I read was $900 a bedroom.
Yeah.
For 4 bedrooms. That's $3,600 a year. What kind? Like that's a $800,000, $900,000 house payment.
Yeah.
Like think about that, a 4-bedroom apartment unit.
Yeah.
And I think that it's higher rents like that is it gets to the point where it's almost detrimental to a community.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I don't know if I know you've been paying attention to big money coming into Blacksburg.
Yep.
Tearing down entire complexes.
Yep.
And building new, that's $200 million project over there.
Right.
Like, how do you make those numbers work?
Right.
Like, how do you cash flow that? And that means big money's coming in. So how's that going to impact the market as a whole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, all of those are going to be just rentals. Some entity's going to hold those, and those are not going to be on the resale market. So what that is going to do is level off the rental. Hopefully, like we need some suppression of rent rates.
Oh yeah,
and I can't believe I'm saying that because I'm a landlord. Like I want those things to put up,
right?
But when it becomes unaffordable to live, it's a bad idea.
Like I think. What was the retreat I read was $900 a bedroom.
Yeah.
For 4 bedrooms. That's $3,600 a year. What kind? Like that's a $800,000, $900,000 house payment.
Yeah.
Like think about that, a 4-bedroom apartment unit.
Yeah.
And I think that it's higher rents like that is it gets to the point where it's almost detrimental to a community.
Oh yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
because it's just too much. It's too much. Like you can't. People can't live.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine if you're getting money from Northern Virginia.
And people don't realize that rent rates actually inflate market values across the board. So if you can rent a place for $1,000, what can you buy for $1,000?
Right.
That actually makes an impact.
It makes an impact.
So like that's we definitely need more rentals, but we need some middle of the road rentals. We need some $600. We need something to be built that's $600 a room.
I don't think you can build it and do it. I don't think it'll cash flow.
Yeah.
I think some of the older properties, you could probably make that work.
Right.
Jefferson Street apartments. Some of those older units, you could probably make that work. But you're not going to make that. Like even on Northview Drive, right above my shop right there. Those old apartments that used to be Section 8, $900
right.
a 1-bedroom, and it didn't even have AC.
Right.
Like, so I'm like, man, I can't even believe that. Shawnee, when I was growing up, Shawnee was Section 8.
Right.
And now it's like $1,400 for a 2-bedroom.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm like, I don't even know how. Like, at some point, like, our wages. In a normal community, your wages need to keep pace with the price of housing and the rent rates, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
But what's happened over the last several years, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but that's far outpaced
wage increases. For sure.
And then how do people fit?
They moved to Giles.
And
they moved to Pulaski, and the ones that are earning a little bit more, they can live in Christiansburg.
Right. Right.
So,
and that's where I'm at.
They're totally priced out of Blacksburg.
Totally priced out of Blacksburg.
Yeah.
And I think that, how do you even at some point, like it has to either be a bubble or it's got to level off.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
And obviously the big developers don't see it happening because now all of a sudden we got big money coming in.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like, they're moving the market through the Virginia Tech rental market, and then the upper class of the executive, the executives of the companies can afford to be here, and they get the benefit of being here because they're willing to pay the premiums that come with it. So there's no real middle class in Blacksburg.
No.
It's either students at the bottom getting funded from the parents in other high-end communities, or there's just the absolute elite people financially that are in Blacksburg.
Yeah, and you got to look at for me, I saw it firsthand in March when they canceled school. The students left, and most of your faculty with the higher incomes, they kind of sheltered in place, like they stopped moving around. So, so you take that out of the picture, you're also pulling all the money out of Blacksburg.
Yeah.
And so what's left, if you look at median household income, what's left after you take that group out and take the students out, like it's not that great.
Yeah.
Like it's basically on par with, Withville and that kind of thing. And so
sure.
we had to change our pricing model a little bit to accommodate that, because we're like, these students are like, we got to give these local people a break because they don't have the money. If you took the bottom, I would say the majority, I would say probably 50 to 65% of all Virginia Tech faculty and staff, 50 to 65% make less than probably $45,000.
Right.
My mom worked there for 20 years and made $28,000.
My mom currently works for the Virginia Tech Foundation. She doesn't make more than 50.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's a high level. She's like right under the CEO guy.
Hey man, $50,000 now is nothing.
Yeah.
Like you can't live off $50,000.
Yeah.
Like it's
you gotta have two incomes in that house.
Two incomes in the house.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's crazy. I don't know, but the more development gets done and the more comes in. And the other thing is that we don't have here, and you can probably attest to this. If you can't. What's odd is you can't build a house now. You can buy more house than you can build right now, because to build a house is so expensive.
Oh, it is.
Like way over $200 a square foot to build a house. Somewhere that flip-flopped, because it used to be you built a house, you got instant equity. That's why you got what you wanted, and that's why you built the house.
Yeah.
Well, now you're upside down. And now you got people like Stateston, and you got houses in Christiansburg now, $589,000 on a 0.18 acre, and the porches are touching.
Yeah.
And so
Agreed.
Well, how does that and then how do they even get them to appraise and comp?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in the real estate business,
Yeah.
but I'm like, hey, he's got a way to make it work.
Yeah.
But
it's a great thing that those are actually long-term type deals, because if they needed to sell within 24 months, it'd be like a used car.
They get killed.
It would get killed.
That's right.
Because of the cost of selling the place.
Absolutely.
When they call me up and they gotta chop off 6% right away, then they're upside down because they've not gained any equity and they've not paid it down enough to be on top of it.
And it used to be when you build a house, you automatically had a little equity, at least a little bit in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's gone away too. So what's going to be interesting,
it's actually cheaper to do the resale. You get more house right now than you would
if
on
you
a
had
brand
to do
new.
it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So if you had your house for sale, you'd be able to sell it. You'd get out of there, but they would get more house than they could if they went to those builders.
That's correct. Yeah. And they don't even paint the garages. That's the craziest part.
Yeah.
It could be $600,000 and the garage ain't painted. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I think that. In fact, there are a couple cases, like you said, that were resales that were sold for less than what they paid for them in Harris Landing and at the one behind the new high school.
Right.
That neighborhood. The name is slipping my mind, but houses that people had bought, then all of a sudden they got to move, and you're getting more than what they did, obviously.
For sure.